Okay, for lick number 11, we're transitioning into our 2-5-1 section, or our major 2-5-1 section, and we're going to start using some cool licks that transition through some more interesting scales as well. So here's lick number 11, up to speed with the track. Okay, here's the same thing with the metronome at 70 BPM. Okay, so this lick is over the chord progression D minor 7, G7, C major 7, and transitions through a Dorian scale and then through a G altered scale before resolving onto our C major 7 chord. Okay, we're going to start up at the 10th fret with the first finger on the low E, pick, hammer, hammer, going 10 to 12 to 13, first finger, second finger, third finger. Then the second finger is going to come down to the A string at the 12th fret, I do a downstroke. Okay, then I use my middle finger on the right hand, feel free to use again, as with all of these licks, a downstroke. I'm not going to mention that again actually, just, the picking's entirely up to you. 10th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret on the D string, first finger, second finger, little finger. Then 12th fret on the right hand, on the left hand, second finger on the 12th fret of the G. First finger on the 11th fret of the B, hammer onto the 12th fret, hammer onto the 14th fret. Okay, so we get, now pull off back down again. Then transition to the G string, 13th fret with the third finger, pull off to 12 with the second finger, pull off to 10 with the first finger. Okay, then we're going to slide down to the 9th fret on the same string. Then we're going to go D12 with a downstroke, pull off to 11, pull off to 9, hammer onto 10, okay? And that's little finger, third finger, first finger, second finger. G9 with the first finger, hammer onto 12 with the second finger, I should say, actually not third finger. And then B12 with the third finger, and then E10 with the first finger. Okay, so. Okay, let's move on to the next lick. Okay, lick number 12 is a tricky little chromatic 2-5-1 lick, again using Dorian and then our altered scale leading into the C major 7. Goes something like this, up to full speed with the track. Okay, here's the same thing at 70 BPM with the metronome, nice and slow. Okay, so for this lick, we're starting on the little finger at the 12th fret of the G string. We're going to do a pull-off line that goes 12, 11, 10, 8. Okay, so pick the first note, slide into the 9th fret, and then hammer onto the 10th with the second finger. Okay, now we're going to do a little tricky shift where we put the first finger underneath on the B string at the 10th fret, and we're going to go 10, hammer onto 13 with the little finger, slide into 14, and then pull off 12 to 11 on the same string. Okay, so that's quite tricky. Now come down the G string, 13, 12, 10, or third finger, second finger, first finger. And now go 12, 13, 14, second finger, third finger, fourth finger on the D. And then bring the first finger across, bar across the G and the B strings at the 12th fret. Go G12, then B12. Now hammer onto B15, pull off to B13. And then finally, first finger on E12, hammer onto 14 with the second finger, hammer onto 17 with the little finger, and then pull off back to 15. Multiple fingerings you can use there, whatever works for you. So that whole line again, nice and slow. Let's move on to the next lick. Okay, lick 13 is another 2-5-1 lick, but this time the length of the chords has been doubled, so we've got a slightly longer lick here. Again, uses some altered scale harmony. So let's have a listen to it up to speed with the track. Okay, here's the same thing, 70 BPM with the metronome nice and slow. Okay, so this lick starts up at the 8th fret on the high E. We're going to pick that note and then pull off with the little finger back down to the 5th fret nice and chromatically, so we get... Okay, the third finger is then going to grab the 6th fret on the B string, and then the second finger is going to grab the 6th fret on the G string. We're then going to do first finger on B5, and then a little pull-off hammer-on combination, 7th fret, pull off to the 5th fret, hammer onto the 4th fret, hammer onto the 5th fret on the G string. Okay, then third finger on the 6th fret of the D string, hammer onto the 7th fret with the little finger. Okay, move the first finger to the 5th fret of the G string, do an upstroke, then D7 with the third finger, upstroke, and then A8 with the little finger, upstroke. Pull off to the 5th fret, hammer onto the 6th, hammer onto the 8th. Okay, now we're in our altered scale territory. 5th fret on the D string with the first finger, pick, and then hammer onto 6. First finger on the 4th fret of the G string, pick, hammer onto 8 with the third finger, big stretch. Okay, then the little finger is going to go to the 8th fret of the B string, then the first finger on the 6th fret of the high E, hammer on 7, 9, pull off 7, 6. Okay, little phrase there, little sort of scalic phrase. Now we're going to come down chromatically on the B string, 9, 8, 7, 6, all pull-offs apart from the first note. So a little phrase. Okay, now we get C major 7 arpeggio for our one chord. We go 9th fret on the G string with the little finger, pull off to the 5th fret on the same string, first finger. Now do the same thing, 9, 5, 9, pick, pull off, hammer on the D. Back to the G string, pick, hammer, 5 to 9. Okay, then second finger on the 8th fret of the B string, first finger on the 7th fret of the high E, and we're going to pick that, hammer 10, pull off to 9, pull off to 7, hammer 8, pull off to 7. So, and then we're going to come down our C major 7 arpeggio, so we get the 8th fret on the B string, then the 9th fret on the G, And then you can either play the 10th fret on the D string with the little finger, or the first finger on the 5th fret of the G. Okay, same phrase again, nice and slow. Let's move on to lick 14. Okay, with lick 14, we're back to our shorter version of the 2-5-1 progression, and again some altered scale harmony. This is a classic jazz line, sounds like this up to speed. Okay, here's the same thing played to a metronome at 70 BPM. Okay, for this lick, we're starting up at the 8th fret of the high E. We're going to pick the 8, hammer on to 12, pull off back to 8, first finger, little finger, first finger. Okay, then third finger is going to go on the 10th fret of the B string, second finger on the 10th fret of the G, pull off back to 7 with the first finger, hammer on 8, hammer on 9. Okay, so... Okay, then we're going to tuck the second finger underneath the third onto the B string at the 9th fret. We're going to go 9, hammer 11, pull off to 8. Okay, a little bit tricky that. And then we're going to go third finger on the 10th fret of the G, pull off to 8. Second finger on the 9th fret of the D, pull off to 8. Little finger on the 11th fret of the A, pull off to 10 on the third finger. So that little altered scale phrase. Okay. The whole phrase. Okay, let's have a look at the next lick. Okay, so lick number 15 harks back to an idea we used on one of the Dorian licks near the beginning of the DVD. This one uses some arpeggios that are sequenced and then segues into this cool kind of altered scale lick as well. So this is for our longer 2-5-1 sequence, and it goes like this with the track. Okay, here's the same thing at 70 BPM with the metronome. Okay, so for this lick, we're going to start with a D minor 7 arpeggio, matching our D minor 7 chord, and we play first finger on the 5th fret of the A string, pick, and then hammer onto the 8th fret. Then the third finger is going to go down to D7, and the first finger on G5. Again, like with the other licks, however you want to pick this is fine. Okay, then we put the third finger on the 8th fret of the A string, We're going to play the same idea again, but this becomes a D minor 9 arpeggio. So we play 8, and then 7 on the D, and then 5 on the G, hammer onto 9 with the little finger. Okay, then the 7th fret on the D string with the second finger, followed by 5, hammer onto 9 on the G string. Okay, then I use my second finger to play the 8th fret on the B. You could use your third. Now that allows me to transition to a new position, so 7th fret on the G string, hammer onto 10 with the third finger. Second finger on the 9th fret of the B, and then the first finger on the 8th fret of the E, the high E in this case, hammer onto 12. Now the first finger is going to play the 9th fret on the B string. Then we're going to go back to the E string at the 10th fret, hammer onto 12 with the little finger, pull off to the 8th fret with the first finger. Okay, then we've got the 9th fret on the B string with the second finger, pull off to 8. Okay, then the 10th fret on the G string, third finger. Now the 9th fret on the B string again, second finger, hammer onto 11, pull off to 8. Okay, little scalic run, 10 to 9 to 7 on the G string, third, second, first fingers. And then 9 on the D, second finger, and then 11 on the A, little finger, pull off to 10 on the A as well, third finger. So this is the phrase all together, nice and slow. Okay, next lick.